Order! Order in the court! Today we will be hearing the case of Madnick Media versus the courtroom drama genre. If you are displeased with the verdict of this list, you will be sentenced to 2 years of being forced to watch the trial of the Incredible Hulk.
But once again, they made him angry. Maybe angry enough to kill.
I can't stand trial. You have no choice.
But in all seriousness, courtroom dramas are some of my favorite films of all time, and if you're interested in these kind of movies, then this list is an excellent gateway into the genre. At number 10 from 1990 is Presumed Innocent, directed by Alan J. Pakula and starring Harrison Ford, Raul Julia, and Bonnie Bedelia. Based on the best-selling novel of the same name, Presumed Innocent tells the story of Rusty Savage, a prosecutor accused of murdering a colleague with whom he had an affair. What ensues is a captivating courtroom drama that is filled with fun twists and turns. Alan J. Pakula is an incredible director, and here he perfectly captures the film's moody, slow burn atmosphere. Harrison Ford delivers one of his most understated performances, capturing Rusty's anguish and determination with remarkable subtlety. Raul Julia is a standout as Rusty's charismatic defense attorney, and Bonnie Bedelia's portrayal of Rusty's wife Barbara is especially compelling. What I love most about Presumed Innocent is how it keeps you on your toes and keeps you guessing until the very end. And the ethereal score by John Williams adds another layer of intrigue and unease to the film. If you love Harrison Ford or simply a good mystery with lots of courtroom drama, then I highly recommend Presumed Innocent. Next from 1980 is Breaker Morant, directed by Bruce Beresford and starring Edward Woodward, Brian Brown, and Jack Thompson. Breaker Morant is a powerful Australian courtroom drama based on the true story of 3 men who were court-martialed for war crimes during the Second Boer War. The film examines the trial of Harry Breaker Morant, Peter Handcock, and George Whitten, accused of murdering Boer prisoners and a missionary under ambiguous orders from their superior officers. Bruce Beresford's direction is nothing short of brilliant. Filming was located in South Australia, and I love all the gorgeous shots of the vast fields and hills. Beresford also manages to squeeze out all the drama and tension he can during the courtroom scenes. The courtroom setting is nothing more than a bare, shabby room, and the way he creatively shoots and frames scenes in this setting is amazing. Edward Woodward is phenomenal as Harry Morant, delivering a performance teeming with dignity, anger, and quiet defiance.
No, sir, it wasn't quite so handsome. And as for rules, we didn't carry military manuals around with us. We were out on the veldt, fighting the Boer.
And I must note Jack Thompson's portrayal of their defense attorney, Major Thomas. His impassioned courtroom speeches are some of the film's most memorable moments.
Could it have been that the practice, though irregular, was effective in controlling Boer attacks? That will be all, Mr. Robertson.
If you're a fan of historical dramas or court films regarding the military and the ethics of warfare, then Breaker Morant is an absolute must-watch. At number 8 from 1962 is To Kill a Mockingbird, directed by Robert Mulligan and starring Gregory Peck, Mary Badham, and Brock Peters. Based on the revered novel by Harper Lee, the film is told through the eyes of the young girl Scout Finch, as she watches her father wrestle with not only an extremely tense and difficult trial, but with the racism and scorn of the townspeople. Gregory Peck, who with this role won the Oscar for Best Actor, plays the Southern lawyer Atticus Finch, and to say he gives a masterful performance is an understatement.
We had such a good chance. We had more than a good chance.
Peck brings a believable, unbending conviction to the character, and it's exhilarating to watch him go up against the town and fight for what he stands for. Atticus is tasked with defending Tom Robinson, a black man accused of raping a white woman, and seeing as they are given an all-white male jury in Maycomb, Alabama during the 1930s, it's fair to say it may not be the most unbiased of juries. Brock Peters is exceptional as Tom Robinson, and who can forget Mary Badham as Scout, who not only delivers a spirited and heartfelt performance, but acts as the backbone to the whole story. Robert Mulligan's direction is economical and effective. During the courtroom sequences, he allows the actors to play out the scenes in wide shots with lots of space, and he reserves close-ups for only the most dramatic moments. The gorgeous black and white cinematography done by Russell Harlan only enhances the picture, and coupled with the incredible screenplay, it makes To Kill a Mockingbird not only a staple of the courtroom genre, but a timeless classic. Next from 1960 is Inherit the Wind, directed by Stanley Kramer and starring Spencer Tracy, Frederick March, and Gene Kelly. Based off the stage play of the same name, Inherit the Wind derives its source material from the real-life 1925 Scopes monkey trial, where a school teacher was tried for teaching evolution in Tennessee. Spencer Tracy plays Henry Drummond, the defense attorney in the case, while Frederick March plays the formidable prosecutor Matthew Brady, a friend and rival to Henry. I love this film for many reasons, and one of them is the outstanding dialogue and performances. Both Tracy and March perform their parts expertly, and watching the pair duke it out in the courtroom is enthralling.
The Bible says it was a day.
Well, was it a normal day, a literal day, 24-hour day?
I don't know.
Gene Kelly is great as the cynical newspaperman E.K. Hornbeck, and I'd also like to highlight the amazing set design and costumes, as I don't think I've ever seen a sweatier, more humid courtroom than the one in this film. In every shot, there's always someone incessantly fanning themselves or caked in a pool of sweat. It truly feels like you're there in the courtroom with these stinky, perspirating people. It's great! Stanley Kramer is a phenomenal director. With his smooth camera movements and sharp use of blocking, he is able to amplify the drama and tension in every scene. While the film is also viewed as a denouncement of McCarthyism, if you're a fan of debates regarding religion versus science, or just love a well-written drama, then check out Inherit the Wind. At number 6 from 1992 is A Few Good Men, directed by Rob Reiner and starring Tom Cruise, Demi Moore, Kevin Pollak, and Jack Nicholson. Aaron Sorkin, who wrote the play, also penned the screenplay, and if I ever were to teach a class on screenwriting, I would make everyone read this impeccable script. The pacing, the dialogue, the structure of the story, it all comes together to create one of the finest courtroom dramas ever put to film. And what brings this amazing story to life is an incredible cast of actors who all absolutely nail their roles. Tom Cruise is perfect as Daniel Caffey, a lawyer for the United States Navy. Daniel is tasked with defending two young Marines who are accused of murder. What he at first thinks will be an easy case with a quick turnaround soon turns to one of the most harrowing and significant cases of his whole life. Watching Daniel transform from an immature, carefree person to a serious lawyer is incredible. Alongside him are the excellent Demi Moore and Kevin Pollak, who both deliver killer performances. And how can we not mention the absolute tour de force that is Jack Nicholson as Colonel Nathan Jessup. No need to waste your money on a masterclass in acting when you could simply watch Jack's performance here.
Take caution in your tone, Commander. I'm a fair guy, but this fucking heat is making me absolutely crazy.
He is ruthless and at times seems almost impenetrable. The final scene between him and Tom will no doubt keep you on the edge of your seat. If you've never seen A Few Good Men, then I think you can handle the truth, and should go watch it right away. Next, from 1959, is Anatomy of a Murder, directed by Otto Preminger and starring James Stewart, Lee Remick, George C. Scott, and Ben Gazzara. The film follows semi-retired Michigan lawyer Paul Beegler, who takes the case of Army Lieutenant Frederick Mannion, who is accused of murdering an innkeeper after his wife claimed that he raped her. Michael Asimov, a UCLA law professor, stated this film is, quote, probably the finest pure trial movie ever made. Now, I'm no lawyer, but something tells me Michael is right, as Anatomy of a Murder is elevated by its realistic dialogue and how it portrays courtroom deliberations. James Stewart is magnificent as Paul Beegler and brings his rural, folksy charm into this cold, formal courtroom.
Now, the prosecution would like to separate the motive from the act. Well, that's like trying to take the core from an apple without breaking the skin.
His role is heightened by his co-stars who give equally great performances. Lee Remick is captivating as Laura Mannion, while George C. Scott and Ben Gazzara steal the show with their standout characters. I also have to mention the awesome score composed by Duke Ellington, who also makes a small cameo in the film. Otto Preminger's style is simple but effective, and coupled with the great black and white cinematography and the fantastic script, it makes Anatomy of a Murder an essential film in this genre. At number 4 from 1982 is The Verdict, directed by Sidney Lumet and starring Paul Newman, Charlotte Rampling, and James Mason. Paul Newman stars as Frank Galvin, a washed-up attorney who takes on a medical malpractice case against a powerful hospital. What starts as a chance to salvage his career turns into a moral crusade when he learns of a disturbing cover-up. Sidney Lumet's direction is exemplary. There's a sense of maturity and assuredness in his direction, and I love how he lets the actors play the scenes out in shots that are not interrupted by countless edits. The screenplay by David Mamet is razor sharp, filled with gripping dialogue and realistic characters that will keep you engaged the whole film. Paul Newman gives one of the finest performances of his career, portraying Frank as a flawed but deeply empathetic character. James Mason is unforgettable as the slick and ruthless opposing counsel, and Jack Warden is amazing as Frank's friend and mentor. The final courtroom scene is riveting, with Newman delivering a speech that feels both spontaneous and deeply sincere.
We doubt ourselves, we doubt our beliefs. We doubt our institutions, and we doubt the law. But today, you are the law.
If you're a Paul Newman fan or simply love a good story with great dialogue and characters, then go and watch The Verdict. Next, from 1957, is Witness for the Prosecution, directed by Billy Wilder and starring Charles Laughton, Marlene Dietrich, and Tyrone Power. Based on Agatha Christie's play of the same name, Witness for the Prosecution follows Sir Wilfrid Roberts, a veteran barrister who agrees to defend Leonard Vole, a man accused of murdering a wealthy widow who left Leonard as her main beneficiary. What makes this film a classic is not only Billy Wilder's world-class direction and the engrossing script, but the fabulous performances from the entire cast. Charles Laughton is easily one of my favorite actors of all time, and here he delivers another memorable performance filled with wit and a whole lot of attitude.
Teeny weeny steps now, Sir Wilfrid. We must remember we had a teeny weeny heart attack.
Oh, shut up.
He wasn't really discharged, you know. He was expelled for conduct unbecoming a cardiac patient.
Put these in water, blabbermouth.
Tyrone Power and Marlene Dietrich light up the screen with their characters, and Elsa Lanchester is a notable standout as Miss Plimsoll. I love all the courtroom scenes. There are so many great shots with excellent blocking, and even Agatha Christie herself considered Witness for the Prosecution the finest film derived from any of her stories. If you've never seen this film before, I cannot recommend it enough. At number 2 is 12 Angry Men, directed by Sidney Lumet and starring Henry Fonda, Lee J. Cobb, and Jack Warden. The film is a unique courtroom drama as the plot unfolds almost entirely within a single jury room. The story follows 12 jurors deliberating the guilt or innocence of a young defendant accused of murder. What begins as an open and shut case quickly evolves into a tense examination of prejudice and moral responsibility, as one juror challenges his peers to re-examine the evidence more carefully. What makes 12 Angry Men timeless is Sidney Lumet's exquisite direction, which builds suspense from the smallest gestures and glances. The confined setting heightens the drama, and the script by Reginald Rose is packed with great dialogue and colorful, unique characters. Henry Fonda's calm yet passionate performance anchors the film, but every juror brings something vital to the table, from Lee J. Cobb's fiery intensity to E.G. Marshall's stoic rationality. If by chance you've never seen 12 Angry Men, it is an absolute must-watch for any fan of intelligent, character-driven dramas. And finally at number 1 is Judgement at Nuremberg, directed by Stanley Kramer and starring Spencer Tracy, Burt Lancaster, Marlene Dietrich, and Maximilian Schell. This is one of my favorite films of all time, and if I had to pick the ultimate courtroom drama, it would be this one. The plot focuses on a military tribunal presided over by Chief Trial Judge Dan Haywood, who is tasked with prosecuting 4 German judges accused of crimes against humanity for their involvement in atrocities committed under the Nazi regime. The screenplay by Abby Mann, which won the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay, is an outright masterpiece. However, it is the sensational cast of characters that brings this story to life. Spencer Tracy is magnificent as Judge Haywood, and Maximilian Schell gives such a spectacular performance as the impassioned defense attorney Hans Rolf that it earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor.
At this time, against these defendants, and I cannot protest too strongly. What is the prosecution trying to prove? Is it trying to prove that the German people as a whole were responsible for these events?
Honestly, this cast is so stacked I haven't even mentioned the incredible performances from Burt Lancaster and Marlene Dietrich, Richard Widmark, Judy Garland, Montgomery Clift. Even William Shatner shows up. Oh, Captain, my Captain! What's striking about Judgment at Nuremberg is its refusal to simplify or sanitize history. The film confronts the audience with disturbing truths, especially in the haunting testimony scenes where witnesses recount atrocities with chilling detail. And the powerful closing monologue, delivered by Tracy, lingers long after the credits roll.
A country isn't a rock. It's not an extension of oneself. It's what it stands for.
This is not just a courtroom drama, it is a searing exploration of one of history's darkest chapters. If you've never seen Judgment at Nuremberg, I implore you to give it a watch, as it is not only a great courtroom drama, but a classic film in American cinema history. Thank you all so much for watching, and feel free to comment any movies you think I missed out on. I hope this video encourages you to seek out more courtroom dramas, as this genre contains some of the finest films ever made.